Hey y'all, welcome to Pure South Pastures. I'm Mark Bateman. Today we're out here in the pasture with cows, and I want to show you some of what the results of our grazing. We've been trying to increase our stocking density and just trying to see if we made a mistake or if we want to continue to do what we're doing and what the results are. So if you've been wondering about high stock density grazing, we're toying with it, trying to figure some stuff out with it. So come along with us today and let's check out what's happening. We might have made some mistakes and we might have done some good things, so we'll see. But come along with us. Let's check this out. So here we are, and this is the paddock I just put them in, and you can see there's a lot of diversity. And when I say diversity, I mean we have a lot of grass. A lot of the ryegrass has gone to seed. We got a lot of weeds. You can see the buttercup, but we also got we have several different kinds of clover. We've just all kinds of different stuff. You can see the Bermuda's starting to pop a little bit. You can see there's some weeds. A lot of it's gone to seed, but yeah, and starting to dry out. I like this time of year though, because in the early spring, everything is so vegetative and green. Obviously it's not as tall either, but it's so vegetative and green that excuse me, that it doesn't it won't really lay over, so you don't get the biomass, you don't get the trample really early. And, so this time of year, stuff is starting to, the cool season grasses are starting to get a little more brittle, and they start laying over when the cattle go into them, and I'll show you that in just a little while. But I'm just showing you here, you can see there's a lot of good clover, a lot of good legumes. You can see some hairy vetch there, and so that's a legume as well. And then down in here you see the just getting started, the Bermuda is getting ready to pop, because we're going to be in the 90s here soon. So this is a loafing shed. I don't know if I've ever showed you guys this, but there's looks like my camera's a little bit foggy. Hang on. There are several of these back here they used to have horses on this farm, and so they had these loafing sheds set up. And so when they're in these paddocks, I'll allow them to use that for some shade. That's beneficial. So you see here some of these weeds. I want to show you that, because in just a minute, that's ironweed or goldenrod. I think it's ironweed. But in just a minute, I'm going to show you what they did to that. Because look at that hairy vetch right there. That's a great legume, and we have it all. Look, it puts on see here, it puts on a little seed pod. That's pretty cool. A bunch of little seed pods right down in there. You see those? That's neat. Put on the seed, baby. Put on the seed, because we want more of it. And then we got this stuff. I hate goat weed, man. Hate goat weed. I don't want to spray it, but we have places where it is just absolutely taken over. And then we got the mighty cuckleburr, and there's places where it's bad too. You can see right here all the white flowers. Those are look at that. That's just I need to bring them in here and just have them trample that down really tight. But let's go back here and see the cattle really quick. There's a lot of cuckleburrs in here. See back here, the grass isn't quite as tall, but the calves are back there eating weeds. Looks like they're eating some kind of vine, and that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to go into a paddock in a minute where they've been. I'm going to show you what they did. They're not in a high stock density today, because this is the new farm back here, and it's just not. There's not enough vegetation, not enough feed on it for them to be really tight. So see these calves right here, they're eating blackberry. Look at that. Calf's got a mouthful of blackberry. That's a tough mouth, you know it? That's something else. You ever tried to eat a blackberry vine? I like blackberries, but I'm not eating a blackberry vine. She's wearing it out, ain't she? She had her first calf this year. She's a grazing machine. And just wearing it out. I don't know if you have this stuff where you are. This is dog fennel. And I used to think that cows wouldn't eat it, but I'm learning different. This paddock right here is full of weeds, and I may bring them down here and pack them in here for about, I don't know, 45 minutes. Just let them at least trample. I mean, this thing is full of weeds. Look at this. There's ironweed. It's either ironweed or goldenrod. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll see what they do down here. But they're gonna graze that hillside. The line is right up there where those cows are. So there's some shade back there I let them into. And then they'll come back up in this paddock later today, and they'll lay a lot of that, trample a lot of that down, eat a lot of it. Look, they just bit that off. Blackberry vines, those calves are eating that. A mouthful of thorns. This fence right now is not hot because I want to be able to go through it and show you this. This is where they were yesterday. And we got a pretty good amount of trample. But look at this. This was some tall dog fennel. Look at the tips of that. Those cows just bit all the dog fennel off. Bit the tips of it off. And not only that, look at these other weeds. Bit the tips of them off. I mean, those things were like 3 feet tall. Just bit them off. Look at the trample in here. Look at these weeds. How about that? Bit the tips of them off. I mean, just bit them off. Now there's some cuckleburr they didn't touch yet. But look at these weeds. Is that not awesome? Look, they stripped them of all the leaves. That is awesome. Now, here's the negative. This is grazed lower than I want it to be, and this area right in here, I don't know, they just came in here and wore this out. But then you've got areas where there's more trample and more forage laid down. But in here, look, they bit it off. Yesterday was Sunday, so I was gone all day. So I put them in here early yesterday morning, and they took it down a little further than I wanted to out here. But I'm also very happy that they set these weeds back, and they gain the nutrition from them. That's people say they won't eat dog fennel or ironweed or goldenrod, but look what happens when you tighten them down. You create competition, and then they start learning that they can eat them, and then they'll continue to eat them even more. Now look at this trample. See, this is really good. Left some clover in there. I mean, everywhere we find these stemmed weeds, it's like they bit the tips of them off. This dog fennel, they left a lot of it there, but they took the very tip, the most nutritious part. And yeah, man, I'm just excited about that. Not so excited about how this out here is. I mean, it's low, but thank goodness it's springtime and we're getting rains, and I believe it'll come back. I actually have skipped this paddock multiple times this year. We've been through 2 or 3 times, and I've skipped this paddock every time. I've just let it grow, and that's why it grew these tall weeds. And I mean, they just wore them out. Check this out. I just noticed this when I came in here this morning. Look, they took almost every leaf off of these weeds. I know I'm just saying the same thing over and over because I just keep seeing more and more, but it just fires me up, man. It's exciting. I'm learning how to do this, and hopefully you're learning along with us. If you have knowledge that you could share with us, we definitely want you to. So we got a good degree of trample here because this isn't really something they love to eat. Took the tips of it off and trampled it down. But if you're learning or if you have knowledge that you can share, this is a great place to do it. Feel free to share your knowledge with us. You can see the trample out here. They really laid it down nice. So that's where they're going to be for today, and hopefully they'll do the same thing there. I really think this afternoon I'm going to come home. Down there is where we were, and where all those stemmy weeds are, and I think I'm going to tighten them up in there and leave them for a little while, let them bite the tips off of those. I've been listening to Dr. Alan Williams. He's just to me, he's a YouTube mentor and hero of mine. And he has so much knowledge, and he talks about how when they learn to eat those weeds, at first they don't want to do that, but then you increase the competition by tightening them down and putting them in a greater stock density. And when they learn to eat those, then they begin to gain more nutrition because those weeds have deeper roots and are able to mine out more minerals than just the grasses. So hopefully that's what's happening. And yeah, hopefully do some good. We do have a cocklebur issue. Gotta figure that out, and we have a goat weed issue. And the cows are up there in a lot of goat weed today on that hillside. And we'll see when it's still in a really short vegetative state if they'll nip it off. I have a feeling they're not going to, but I'll keep you posted. If not, we're going to figure out some way of controlling it because it is out of control. So, kind of interesting to me that they've got all this deep forage up here and they went out there to that hillside. I think sometimes they just like to go to a new place. And they've been down in this little bottom right here by the bayou all the last couple days. And so they wanted to go back there first thing. You can see the line goes right there around those trees and it just kind of hooks back there. So that's really all the area they have. They have that and this paddock right here for today. And so they can get in those trees back there for shade. Then come here and the water's up here. So anyway, I'm just super fired up about the weeds being taken down. I got to get busy. I got pigs to feed, chickens to feed, and I got to get to work. So hope you guys have a great day. I bet they'll come along and take that out. Ragweed. At least bite the tip of it off. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day today. And I hope the Lord blesses all you do. Make it a great one. Sometimes we have to choose to, in the midst of all circumstances, we choose joy. We choose to make it a great day. So have a great one. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one.